Hi all, and welcome to a Path of Exile video. In this video I'll be going through all my standard characters. As you can see here, there are 5 of them at the moment, and I will go through each one, their passive points, their gear, their gems, what they're used for, and their MTX. Now, as this is standard, some of the characters will have legacy gear on, which means you cannot replicate the gear inside a league. Most of these builds can be replicated inside the league if you wish to play a build for these, and for each build I will include a path of building down below. There will be no leveling notes, there'll be no this is not a build guide, this is how my characters are at the moment I recorded that section of the video. Each character will have its own section, and there'll be chapters down below to guide you through whichever character you wish to see. And with that introduction and disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the video. In this section of the video I'm going to go over a legacy build. This build cannot be replicated in League because there is no point to it at all. The purpose of this character was for endless heist at level 69 to 60, and that mechanic no longer exists, but some people wonder why I have a level 59 character, so that's the reason why. So let's go through the character. So as I said, this is a level 59 character. It's got 0 XP because I used a Book of Aggression, which is no longer in the game, to level down to 59 0 XP. As also you can see, it's called Garth Baby Heister, so that's that. And the gear it's wearing is all relative to that level. So we've got a Quill Rain here, there's the stats, 6 linked, and in here we have a Ballista Totem support for our Anomalous Toxic Rain with Anomalous Efficacy, Vicious Proj, Void Manipulation and Conk Effect. We then have a Rat's Nest. This is used because it's got rarity and 10% movement speed. The crit chance doesn't matter, so that's why we use that. And in here we have our phase run, efficacy support, increased duration and life tap. We also have this legacy here is Bite with Hunter influence. It's got the 8 life per enemy hit with attacks implicit, all the stats, and yeah, that's why we have that on there for the stats and the gain life per hit. Down to the boots. These are worm scale boots with 30% increased movement speed, some armor evasion, life, some life regen, some resistances, and then strength and intelligence. And again, the reason why some of this gear is not that great, some people would say, is because it is relegated to level 59 only, so had to be really careful when buying the gear. Onto the gloves. These are the gloves I have. So we've got Mana Leech as a prefix 6, we've got some armor evasion, life, and then lots of resistances. In the gloves we've got our anomalous purity of elements, malevolence, enlighten and flesh and stone. In the boots we have anomalous cast when damage taken support, molten shell, increased duration and life tap. And then of course we have the favoured Queen of the Forest. It's not a great Queen of the Forest. I do aim to replace this at some point so I can actually finish incubating the map item that is on there. I put the incubator on and didn't realise that it was level 68 required monster kills. So yeah, it's never going to hatch until I take it off this character and put it on another one. In here we have our Divergent Caustic Arrow with Decay, Efficacy, Divergent Mirror Archer, Vicious Proj and Void Manipulation. That's all the gem links, and that's the mainstay of the gear. We then have a Amethyst Ring with life and mana quality, Chaos Rays, Intelligence, life, mana, Fizz damage as life, and then the fire and chaos resist. We have a quite well rolled Lahu Pavul with an attribute modifier quality, and we were trying to get max attributes, max LE resist, and then as high as increased damage as we could afford at the time. And this is one we ended up with. I do aim to also replace this. As for the belt, again limited by our level, requires level 59. We do have attribute modifiers on there again for the strength requirement. So this has got oodles of amounts of strength, fire resist, cold resist, then crafted armor evasion, and then a high life modifier. We've also got our searching eye jewel with some more stats, life and damage over time while wielding a two-handed weapon. The thieves trinket, duplicate base currency twice, and chromes have a chance of dropping as fusing. So quite a good trinket to have when I used to be running this through heists. Flasks, we have 26 maximum charges with immunity to bleeding, 20% quality. We have the recharge recovery and increased evasion during the flask effect. We don't get hit, so pointless having charges when hit. 14 reduced charges and then immune to poison. And finally increased armor and charge recovery with a legacy quicksilver, 35% increased duration and 22% increased movement speed. This is the one that you cannot no longer get. It's a legacy quicksilver, so you can't get this in League and you can't get this in League. However, every other item on this build you can. The amulet is self-crafted by me, and I used fossils to craft it, and I got very, very lucky. It is a simplex amulet which can only be got by heist. I brought the base, item level 72, and then I scoured it, and then I used fossils and resonators to craft until I hit what I wanted, which was evasion, maximum life, damage over time multiplier, and chaos resist. That was what I was aiming for, and that is what I got. So the implicit modifiers cannot be changed, and 25% increase explicit modifier magnitudes. So if you look there, it says 10% damage over time. We then take our finger off, it's actually 12% damage over time. So the evasion is also increased from 27 to 33. Same with the life, same with the chaos resist. We've then qualityed it with physical and chaos damage modifiers and got the sovereignty anointment on there. So that's all of the gear. As you can see, most of my gems cannot be leveled because I need to be level 60. Onto the passive tree. So in standard, every time there's a new league, you get one full reset for respec for free. I haven't done this on this character because if I do, it will probably brick the build, and I don't want to do that. So this character will have this kind of passive tree until they force me to respec. Also, as this is a level 59 character, we have not done Lord's Lab, and I didn't think to get a Lord's Lab carry before they'd done away with the books. So I don't want any XP on this character, so I can't get a carry now. So we've got Quartz Infusion, which is the phasing one, and then we go up for the Onslaught, Rapid Assault, and then over to Avatar of the Chase. So you see, we come through here, we pick up Aspected Links, Survivalist, Inveterate to get the Spell Suppress. We are full Spell Suppress on this one. Quick Step, Herbalism, down for Natural Remedies, Fleetfoot, Thick Skin, Graceful Assault because we have Perma Onslaught, and Avatar of the Hunt. Upwards we go for Charisma, with auras from your skills have 10% increased effect. Revenge the Hunted, Hunter's Gambit, Wasting, Entropy through Coordination, up to get Fangs of Viper, through to get Blood Drinker, up to get Mind Drinker, and the 12% increased mana reservation node. And then also we have a Replica Conquest Efficiency, which again is a legacy item and can no longer be got in League. So there's 3 legacy items on this character: Replica Conquest Efficiency, the Quicksilver Flask, and the Quiver. You might be able to get one. You need a unique with influence on it, which can drop just very rarely, and like I said, having put what I have on this simplex amulet through Craft of Exile, there's 1 in 6,800 chances of getting it using the best fossil mix in a 4-socket resonator. So that's that character. I'll include the POB down below. This is how fast it moves without using phase run. When I activate phase run, and then wait for phase run to come off cooldown, then we activate the Quicksilver Flask and phase run, and you can see this is a mighty little speedy bugger. And this is how I used to do all of my contracts, and this is how I managed to cap out my Gianna reveals using this character, or building this character in League, most leagues. And I just run baby heist, bulk sell the currency, make tons of currency, selling the bulk currency that I picked up through heist, various uniques, etc, etc. Then I'd have a high level heist character running the BPs, and I'll have a mapping character. So that's how I did it back in the day when de-leveling or endless heists was a strategy. Hope you enjoyed this section of the video. Let's move on to the next one. In this section of the video, we're going to go over my actual heist character in standard, which is a Juggernaut Righteous Fire. This is based on Pox's Jugg Righteous Fire character with some amendments, and I'll go through those amendments in this section. So let's get into it. We are a level 97 Garth RF heist, and we are a Jugg, as you can see by the portrait there. We are fully resisted, all 4 of them, way above what I need. And then if we go into the gear, please note again, this is a character in standard. I will point out any legacy gear. I don't think there's any on this one, bar 1, but I will point it out as we go. Excuse me, I do have a soda on the go on this section of the video, so I apologise for any burps. Trinket, this is the one I'm using at the moment. It's not particularly great, but it'll do the job. We've got duplicate contained currency chests, we've got quant, and we've got orbs of augmentation dropped as chaos orbs. On to the scepter. This is self-crafted. I had this scepter in my stash for over a year. Nobody was interested in it, so I alt spammed it, got the +1 all fire spell skill gems, augured into malevolence, has 40% increased aura effect, and regaled into the spell damage and mana. Multi-modded it to include the fire damage over time and increased fire damage chance to ignite. Got 20% quality at the moment. I do intend to increase that and then whack on a heist modifier once I figure out which one I want. In the scepter we have our flesh and stone 2020, we have 2020 temper shield, and we have a level 3 20% enlighten. I do not believe in using corrupted items unless the item itself can only be used and dropped and available because it's corrupted. Certain items are always corrupted in the game of Path of Exile. But yes, I understand there's a lot of power involved in corrupting your items and gems. I don't want to do that. So moving on, one of the staples of any heist, Devotion, because we've got the 20% increased movement speed. It's got Chaos Res on there, and we got some attack speed, which is handy, and Dex, which is always lovely. We do have mana efficiency on there as well. It's currently 20%. Quality as well, and in here we have the traditional phase run 2020, increased duration 2020, level 1 life tap 20 quality, and a 2020 anomalous efficacy, because you get even more duration on an anomalous efficacy. Into our gloves, these were made. I brought the 100% base from standard, cost me about 150C I think. I then whacked it with an alchorb, didn't care what it rolled, used the quality fossils until I hit 30% and then went to town. So we've got life, armor, lightning resist, life regeneration, cold resist, and then with the crafted +1 level of socketed AoE gems and increased AoE. And then we've got Eater of the Worlds, increase impact, inflict fire exposure on hit, and the 7% do fire damage over time multiplier. I'm not sure that's the correct implicits anymore. I haven't checked Pox's guide for implicits. I've just looked to see how he's doing it and based mine on that. As for our Legacy of Fury, again 20% quality. It's quite a low. It's only a 93, 92, so the base of it is really low. I want to get a better one, but this does have 2% regen life per second if you're hit recently. I'm a Jugg. If things in Heist hit me, that's handy. So it's a bit hard to get one with that enchant on it. I can't be bothered to run lab for my own enchant. So it is 39% chance to Scorch with a 43 increased effect of Scorch, which is quite cool. And in here we have Fire Trap, 2020 Trap and Mine, 2020 Swift Affliction, and a 2020 Life Tap. As for our belt, I've recently re-rolled this. I'm still not happy with the way it's turned out, but it does have a T2 increased max life for armor, a T2 max life, T1 increased life recovery rate, strength, and 8% increased attributes. So for now it will do. We've got life and mana modifier quality on there as well. For the Idol there, this is a legacy item. Harvest used to be able to apply implicits onto jewels. You can no longer do that. They have removed that. 10% increased endurance charge duration. Don't know how that effective it is. It just happened to be one I picked up. It's got life, damage over time while holding a shield, 2% chance to block attack damage, and 7% chance to gain phasing. The three on there that are what I got the jewel for is the life, the damage over time, and the phasing. That phasing roll is so nice. It is quite cool to have. So that's the belt. Yep, I am running a brass dome with a +5 to max all. It's also a high armor base. It's at 834 of 848, 20% quality, and we have 383 increased armor, 6 linked. I linked this myself. I brought the base, put 3 sockets on there, used 120 GCPs to get the 3 blue. Then I rolled got the green, and then rolled to get the 5th socket as green, rolled the 4th socket to get red, 5th socket to get green, and then the 6th one to get the red. It's quite simple to do. Doing it that way, yes, it did cost a few jewelers to do, but I have loads, or I did have loads. And then it's 1,500 fusings, bam, forced 6 link on the bench. In here is where our Righteous Fire. We put Righteous Fire in the brass dome because we're not stopping, so we only use Fire Trap when we get stuck behind doors if we're running a contract of that nature where it has doors, or for pesky rares that just won't die from RF. It's very rare do I use the Fire Trap, but sometimes it's helpful to have. So 6 link Righteous Fire with Awakened Ellie Focus, Awakened increased area of effect, Awakened burning damage. I've only just recently purchased this, which is why it's only level 2. The level 5 one was too high. I wasn't willing to pay the price for a level 5 20% quality. So I brought level 1, 0 quality it myself, and it's slowly leveling up. Awakened Swift Affliction, and finally Life Tap. And then we look at the rings. We've got a Chaos Resist with mana, loads of wrists with Crafted Life, and on this one again Chaos Resist with a resist quality on there, life, mana, lots of resists. I was trying to get Chaos Resist capped and I managed it. Now we've got 2 items left. You will note that my shield has only got 2 sockets in it, which is Vitality and Arrogance. I have no idea what to put in this one. I might put in a Blood Rage. I don't know what else to put in there. It's very hard to find a jewel that works with RF. that cannot go on left click. So yeah, anyway, this is the shield. Minions deal increased damage, +1 to level of all spells, with 41 fire resist, +3 max cold risk, which I believe is now a legacy mod. You cannot get that modifier anymore on shields, according to the patch notes. 33 cold resist, and then the crafted max life. So that's the shield with the 2 gems. I need to find another gem on there because this just looks silly. Then we move on to the amulet, which again I rolled myself. It is a Shaper influenced with attribute modifiers on there. 1.57 out of 1.6 life regen per second, 33% increased armor, lightning resist, 8% increased attributes with a crafted attributes roll. I rolled this myself using defense fossils, which is why there's no life on there. I don't really need life. I prefer to have the attributes because I need high attributes. I level gems in my offhands for purposes of the glittering challenge. See my weekly updates to find out what that's about. So I must have 155 in strength, dex and intelligence on all of my standard characters that I use on a daily basis. On a regular basis, sorry. So that's all of the gear, that's all the gems. Let's have a look at the cosmetics, or MTX. Some of this is legacy. I don't know if you can get any of it anymore, but this is the ones we've got to make the Jugg RF look freaky. Ringmaster hat, Crypt sword, Ravager weapon effect, Yaksha shield, prismatic scintillation body armor, dark shard weapon effect on the shield, madcap boots, Stampede Quicksilver Flask, Gemling Sage Portrait Frame, and Imperator Apparition Portal Effect. All of my characters use Portal Effect because it's amazing. I've run out of points to buy some more invisible buff effects, which is why you see the auras around. As much as possible, I will make all of my buffs invisible because I hate them. And we've chosen to use the Harbinger RF gem effect. No other gem effects on there at all. Let's have a look at the passive tree. So again, it's pretty much Pox's one. We've got all of this down here. We've come down for prismatic skin. I've taken cannot be maimed and cannot be hindered because I've got corrupted blood elsewhere, and maimed and hindered in Heist is a death sentence, so you need that. Heart of Winter Warrior, sorry, over for Juggernaut and Armor Mastery. I have put the Brutal Restraint down here because I get 5% increased movement speed here. I get 4% max life there, 10% flask charges gained, and 20% cold resist here. So that's really good, and I'll go into what's up there in a minute. So that's all of that. We also get some dex modifiers here, which is why we're using the Brutal Restraints Asenath Maraketh Jewel. And then we've got our Barbarism with the 50 life there, and we've got the Hearty one down up there, and we've got that there. Through here to get the Arsonist, I haven't put the jewel here because I didn't need to. I wanted to put it over here. I think he's got one here, or is that the Inquisitor? I apologise, I can't remember. But anyway, we've got Arsonist here. This is how I built this particular model. We've got Devotion there. We've got the Endurance charge there. We come over here for Divine Judgment. Over here for Faith and Steel, with the 10% of armour also applies to chaos damage taken from hits. Up here for the Standard Righteous Army and Spiritual Aid. And in here I have put a Legacy Energized Armour, 20%. The only difference between this energized armour and the one you can get in League is this one isn't corrupted. So all of them are now corrupted. If you want to copy this build, you'll need to get well, you just buy one with a high increased armour as you want, and it turns the energy shield from this node into even more armour. When I level up, I will be taking these 3 nodes to get even more armour. I'm not bothered about the crit strikes, but that's where my 98, 99 and 100 points will go in there to get tons of armour. As we continue on, we've got the Sovereignty wheel minus this node with the +1 max. Over here, Purity of Flesh for Holy Fire, Fire Mastery regen, down for the Chaos resist and with reduced effect of curses with Corrupted Blood, cannot be inflicted. Up here for Acrimony and 10% damage over time, multiply if you've killed recently. Then we've got Cruel Prep and Deep Thoughts. I don't need the Mana Mastery because I've got my mana through other means, so I don't need the Mana Mastery there. We've got Breath of Flames, Heart of Flame, and then we go on to a Cluster Jewel, which is Burning Bright, Smoking Ruin Remains, and Widespread Destructions with more fire resist. We haven't taken the Smoking Remains, I keep saying Ruins, sorry, Remains, because it's the third one over there. And then in our medium cluster jewel, we've got increased damage, 3 to fire resistance, 3 to lightning resistance, and then flow of life. And in this one, we've got damage over time, increased life, increased mana, and some more resists. Over here, we have a +2 to all attributes, +5 dex passive with Smoking Remains and Wrapped in Flame. So there's those two, and then finally we have our small cluster jewel, 3 passive with 6% increased mana reservation with +3 all, regen 0.15%, 25% increased effect, and mortifying aspect, which is why I don't need the mana reservation. Between this jewel, the Enlighten we've got there, and the Helm enchant, I've got 43 mana left, so I don't need to take the mana reservation. So that's the MTX, all the gear, all the gems, and the passive skill. Let's run an eye level 83 Deception contract. All my rogues are max level. All my rogues have very good gear. Here comes Gianna. Oh, I didn't do flasks. Let me do the flasks before I do this. So flask wise, I prefer these type of flasks. So more recovery if used while on low life, immunity to blood, 20% quality, and eternal life flasks. Because once you get down to that low life, which is about the only time I use a life flask, I get way more life, and it puts me straight back up to top. Legacy Quicksilver, again, 31% increased duration, 30% increased movement speed. Legacy Basalt Flask gains 6 charges rather than 3, increased armor. 24% reduced charges per use with regen life on the Ruby Flask. And another Legacy gains 7 charges when you are hit, immune to poison. Granite Flask. So we've got Granite, Ruby, Basalt. As our 3 utilities, all on auto. Here we go. I'm using a specialist filter for my own use for standard. There are certain things I collect in standard that you will not be picking up during league, so just ignore whatever drops loot wise, or if nothing comes out of it, it is not a reflection of what drops in Heist. It's a reflection on what I have selected to pick up, and saying that, I'm on the wrong filter. There we go, because that shouldn't show, but that should. There we go, see? Right, let's go and pick up the big flower, the big chests, before I run out of alert level. Down for the Harby chest. While we're opening that, just check to see if there's any more. No, I haven't bricked the run by picking up the mini chests. I've got plenty. Oh, kill you so you don't follow me. That's it. Now we're free to pick up some smaller chests. Just keep an eye on the alert level. Should be able to get one more. Yep. Now we just run for the end game. This is why I don't particularly like doing deception contracts. Yes, you get the reveals of Gianna, but because I'm playing standard, I generate a ton of rogue markers anyway. And when you're playing Gianna, so I don't understand. Everyone's like, oh, the deception contracts are best because you don't have any doors going out. That is true, but nor does agility. You just run through the beams, and agility doesn't have half as many doors as deception going in. Deception contracts seem to have more doors to open on the way in than any other contract. I do think it's a lot slower. That could be me. Round we go. Grab that. And I'm not going to activate my Quicksilver just yet. I want to go and get the loot. Around here. Activate speed mode. There we go. And this is why I've got the Legacy Quicksilver. I've took the Stampede MTX on the Quicksilver so I know when it's proccing off. And that way I remember to hit my phase run if it's not on cooldown or I'm not already activated it. There we go, and that's that character done. Stash all the loot. Sell that for some more coins. There we go. Puts me over the 100k mark. And there we go. That's that character done. On to the next one. Hi all and welcome. In this section of the video we're going to go over my Occultist Death's Oath character. This character was originally based on Baylor Mage's Death's Oath character from way back, over a year ago now, and since then I have kept it up to date by following Burgerbrush on YouTube and his version of the Occultist Death's Oath character, which he does every league. So this is what this character is based on, with some amendments due to my own playstyle and gear I have access to because I play this character in standard and not league. As per previous sections, any legacy gear I will point out. This gear you cannot replicate in league, and if you want to see an in-league build then head over to Burgerbrush on YouTube or Twitch to find out more. In my version we are level 97 and we are completely res capped at 75 plus with 82% max chaos res. I cannot level up past level 97 because I keep dying on this character due to my own stupid mistakes. I've built this character to run expedition logbooks, which I haven't done for a long time either, so this generally fills in for map bosses that my other characters cannot kill for whatever reason. So it kind of does that as well, which is why it dies a lot, unfortunately. However, now with that new expedition node, I've got some expedition and legion on my Atlas passive, so we will go through that in a moment. Let's have a look at the gear. On this character we have a standard Caustic arrow 6-linked Maraketh bow with +1 socketed gems, 63% chaos damage over time, 22% damage over time multiplier, multi-mod +2 level of socketed support gems with a 19% chaos damage multiplier over time. It's only a 20% quality bow at the moment. I need to get it 30% qualityed at some point. And in here obviously we have our Divergent Caustic arrow. I do not like the way Vile Caustic arrow works, so I prefer just to stick with Divergent Caustic arrow. It is supported by Awakened Swift Affliction, Awakened Vicious Projectiles and Awakened Void Manipulation with a Conk effect and a level 3 20% in power. As for the helm, we have a Viridi's Veil with a Malevolence Mana Reservation Efficiency. Unfortunately I couldn't get one with the Malevolence with +2 and a high elemental resist cap, so it's only 20% elemental resists. I would prefer 25 +2 with Malevolence, but that is expensive. This has been quality to 8%. And in here we've got our Divergent Malevolence, Divergent Grace, Determination and Enlighten level 3. Down to the gloves, which is a recent addition to the build for me this league. Asenath's Gentle Touch, You know what it does. If you don't, well, that's what it does. In here we've got our Despair with our Awakened Blasphemy support. Separate to that, we've got a Defiance banner and a level 10 Vitality. In our Death's Oath plate, which is 30% qualityed, we've got Awakened Swift Affliction, Awakened Void Manipulation, Efficacy Support, Awakened Increased Area Effect, Less Duration, and Life Tap. The Death's Oath armor does not need to be linked in any way. The gems are supporting the Death's Oath aura, so they don't need to be linked at all. Which is mine. Mine isn't, and is also color coded double green, double blue, double red. The way I did this was to buy a decent Death's Oath plate. This one has actually got a 780 out of 782 armor. The rolls are really good. 46 all attributes, 197 out of 220 increased armor, 69 max life, and 13% of a possible 15% increased attack speed. What I did then is walked over to the crafting bench and went 3 sockets, 2 green, 1 blue, bam, did that, and then re-rolled the 4th socket until I got the blue. That took a few hundred jewelers, and then 5th socket red, 6th socket red, and then just threw the gems in there. That's what I got word stuck. I apologise, autism. Into the boots. These boots are pretty bad. I do need to change them. They're just not good. I'm not happy with them. But we've got 8% increased movement speed if I haven't been hit, life regen, chaos resist, evasion, life, lots of resists, 25% move speed, and more resists on top of that. Then we go to our Vermilion ring, which is life and some stats, and then we've got our resist ring here with some life, mana, and the lightning damage is irrelevant, with some more life and mana qualities on there. Go down to our belt, which has got attribute modifiers on there for strength, so we can actually equip the Death's Oath armor with some energy shield, life, and resistances with an increased damage craft. We've then got our attribute qualityed Impresence with all the lovely chaos rares, life, Despair has no reservation, and Maddening Presence. It's also been anointed with Disciple of the Slaughter for the frenzy charges, because frenzy charges are awesome. Into the Abyss Jewel, we've got a Legacy Jewel, 4% increased light radius. One version of Harvest in previous leagues allowed you to put implicits onto jewels. That no longer exists, and it's light radius, so it's irrelevant. You can still get this jewel in league without the implicit life, damage over time when wielding a two-handed weapon, and phasing on kill. As for the trinket, this is a 10% chance to duplicate contained rogue markers. That is the only line that matters on this character. It's only there for when I do mapping to find the smuggler's catches and get those lovely rogue markers. It also acts as an additional incubator slot, as you can see. This is a legacy penetrating arrow quiver because it's got a 2+2 to maximum chaos resistance modifier on it, and you cannot roll that anymore. Other than that, the rest of this is completely fine. I do realise that there are better quivers out there, but you can't get the maximum chaos resist on them, so I'm undecided whether I'm going to change it for a better DPS quiver or to keep this legacy one with the +2 maximum chaos resist. I won't be changing it until that false incubator thing has finished anyway. At that point I will make a decision. This does have 24 damage over time with the chaos resistance, barrage speed, and a crafted life with arrows piercing additional target, which is irrelevant because Caustic arrow pierces all targets. So that is all the gear, that is all of the gem links. No, it's not. We've got dash, second wind, withering step, and life tap in our boots. No, we've done the gems. As for the flasks, we have the standard one I like to use, more recovery if used while on low life, anti-bleed, 20% quality, eternal life. The other 4 flasks are all legacy flasks. Now the flasks themselves you can replicate, it is just the rolls on the flasks that you cannot. This is a Legacy Quicksilver because we have 20%, 27% increased movement speed rather than the capped 8. Other than that, it's 25 reduced charges per use, which again is Legacy. Gain 6 charges rather than 3 on the Granite Flask for freeze and chill immunity. Gain 7 instead of 3 charges on the Jade Flask with immune to ignite. And finally gain 7 charges rather than 3 on the Sulphur Flask for shock immunity. The 3 charges max roll still works just as well as the 7 charges. It's been proven, but I do need to point out that you cannot get these exact flasks rolled this exact way anymore. Cosmetics. We are wearing Cult of Apocalyptic Hood and body armor and gloves and boots. We've got the Scourge wings equipped. We are using the Arc of Defiance weapon skin with the ebony weapon effect, and we've got the Metamorph footprints effect, same old Gemling Sage portrait, and Imperator apparition portal effect. All of my auras are invisible on this character. The only one that isn't is the actual Death's Oath aura, which is this lovely purple circle wiggling around my feet at the moment. In my offhands, it's completely irrelevant. They are just leveling gems for the glittering challenge, which I'm doing in standard. If you want to know more about that, hit up one of my weekly updates and it should tell you what that is all about in there. Enough of that, let's grab a map. I haven't pre-rolled one for this character, so let's just do that now. Let's go into our maps, grab a silo map, which we haven't actually done, so we'll do that now. Yep, no we won't. We'll leave that, we'll do a T15 because I don't want to run that on this character. Let's just grab one of these, Phantasmagoria, that'll do. Owl can go, Bosch. Yep, that'll do. Passive tree. Okay, so we have gone for Void Beacon, Withering Presence, Profane Bloom, and Unholy Authority. We have come up for Heart and Soul, round for Blast Radius, up here with the Transcendent Mind, over here for Cruel Prep, up here for Heart of Darkness and Corruption. Then we come up here for EB, through to Influence for Atrophy, and deal 10% more damage to enemies which have Energy Shield. Down for Growth and Decay. Down for Mind Drinker and the Mana Reservation Mastery. We've got Infused here, Blood Drinker there with plus 50 max life, and the both of the 6 max life nodes. Down through here, I'll go over Cluster Jewels in a minute, and I'll also do the Timeless Jewel in a minute. Hunter's Gambit, Revenge of the Hunted. Down here for a jewel, which I haven't decided what I'm going to put in there yet. Charisma and 8% increased damage for each aura. Up for Coordination, Blood Siphon, Entropy, Fangs of the Viper, and then Resourcefulness. This jewel is Inspired Learning. Cluster Jewel wise, we've got our increased chaos damage with a legacy regen 0.01% life per second. That's a legacy implicit, aforementioned. Unholy Grace, Unwavering Evil, Wicked Pal. I know Burger Brush uses a different one, but in my opinion, these three are still the best you can get, with a regen of 0.15 life per second. We take all 3 notables on the large cluster. In the medium cluster here, I've got a legacy 1% increase in flask effect duration, plus 3 all attributes, Eternal Suffering, and Flow of Life. Eternal Suffering is increased chaos damage with 50% chance to inflict withered for 2 seconds on hit if there are 5 or fewer debuffs. This jewel attributes life resists, and down here we've got another chaos damage over time with Student of Decay, Unwavering Evil, 1% increased damage of time, and attributes. So those are they. And then this one we've got again 15% chance to avoid being stunned, legacy implicit, strengthened dex, life, damage over time while handy wielding a 2-handed weapon, and another chance to get phasing on kill. As for the Timeless Jewel, we have our glorious Vanity Zabakwa to get Divine Flesh. This particular jewel for me is running with 8% damage over time, 11% increased chaos damage, 3% increased movement speed, lightning resist, maximum energy shield, chance to suppress spell damage, which is irrelevant because that is the only suppress I have, lightning damage, which is irrelevant, I don't do any, and finally 38% increased armor with 4% additional physical damage reduction. In my opinion, I've only got one node which is completely useless, which is the increased lightning damage and a 2% chance to suppress spell damage. Hey, it could work. Oh dear. So that's the passive skills. Let's get on with this map. I will do the Atlas passive tree in a separate section. I'm not sure where it falls in this video, so you may have already seen it. Let's do Eater of the Worlds. I do not want any of that on there at the moment, so we're just going to do the normal one. And just for the purposes of this video, we're going to run Nico. Okay, let's get this map done. Activate the Quicksilver straight away. And this is the power. I know I'm in a T15, but this is a full Atlas, which I will go through, as I said, in another section of the video. I may have already done it, depends how I put the video together. Again, as mentioned in other sections, this is a very specialized filter for me playing in standard. There are some things that won't show that you would pick up in League, and some things that do show that you wouldn't touch with a barge pole in League. I haven't even used Caustic Arrow once yet. This is just purely off of the base damage of the Death's Oath aura. More gems leveling up. Oh, Hex Touch is now max level. Nice. Castle Challenge. Oh, that's the Glittering Challenge gems. That's fine. We have run into a Harvey. So this is where I would be using Caustic Arrow. You can't see it because of all the Harvey stuff, but it is dropping. Oh, took some damage from that one. That must have been a lightning golemy thing. You can see with all the life regen on the build, I am still regenning, no need for a life flask. I've learned which characters need a life flask when, and I was out of combat, so it didn't really matter. This map is not that dangerous. It's just a T15 Al can go. I would have preferred to show you a T16, but I haven't got round to completing T16s in standard yet. I've been having too much fun in the League this time around. First time I've done a League seriously in over a year. I've tried now and again to get involved, but I just find the leagues not worth it. I've never found a build I can actually do everything with, and then my Atlas strat is always wrong, and I end up getting running out of maps, and I can't buy maps because I've got no currency, blah blah blah. So I end up quitting. Spell suppress, Swords of Shock, lightning damage can suck, 6 orbs of ult. Or no, we're gonna have to go with that one. They all died anyway. Incoming Legion. We'll just wait for that rampage to go away. Oh, missed. Stop moving. There we go. We're just going to clear around here. I don't know how I'm out of Quicksilver Flask. That's fine. Wasn't killing enough. This is where I really need the Quicksilver Flask. There we go. I'll just clear all this. Oh, come on. That's it. This is where I'd normally use the Caustic Arrow as well to clear the Legion, which I think we've done. 11 seconds to go. I think we've got everything. So wander around. Yep. I'm going to stand over here while everything procs. 2, 1. Dip around a corner. Shoot the Caustic Arrow. Wait for all that death to get out of the way. This character is not designed to do Legion, it is designed to do Expedition, but Legion is on my map this time around because it's just too good. I'm just going to pick up all this loot while they're all trying to kill me. I've chosen Dash after watching Burger Brush's video, and then I suddenly realised that although Dash isn't that great, I don't do pinnacle bosses, so I don't actually need a dare I say, good movement skill. Also, I don't do any elemental damage, so this character can run Elemental Reflect mod. If I roll it on one of my other characters, this character can do the map. I don't have a wasted map, but it does mean I can't use a elemental movement skill such as Frost Blink, Flame Dash, etc. Map Gaze, Blind, Chaos, Lightning, and yeah, we'll do that. I'm probably going to die against this boss because I am not really reading the modifiers. I'm cursorily glancing at them to see if there's anything dangerous or that's going to break the build. So far I haven't seen anything. We are out of Quicksilver again. Over here, just get these. Right, let's drop a portal. Oh dear, I forgot it was her. Oh well, just run around in circles. Hopefully she won't shotgun me. That was close. Nope, she'd be dead. Nice and simple. Anything on the floor I want to pick up. I haven't updated my filters, so I just want to check. There we go. Everything else can sit on the ground. And there we go. That's Death's Oath on the T15. Out can go. Sorry it wasn't a T16. I will try to remember to do those. See you in the next section. In this section we'll be going over my Ranger Deadeye character that I use to farm blighted maps, not ravaged, just ordinary blight maps. I don't have a character that can do blight ravaged maps yet. I am working on it, but yes, at the moment this is a character that does all the other blighted maps, so let's get into it. Currently I am level 96 with about 5% XP. We are fully res capped, but only 40% chaos res. Let's get into the gear. So on the gear here we have a very bad or a starting tri-elemental bow ready for my tornado shot, and in here we have fork, GMP, tornado shot, mirage archer, trinity and inspiration. As you can see, some of these gems aren't fully leveled yet. This is because in 3.21 this character was set up with lightning arrow. In 3.22 lightning arrow is out, tornado shot is in, so I'm having to level gems. As for the helm, this is a max base 429 of 429, 30% quality using fossils and resonators, with life, armor, fire res, strength and crafted intelligence, with increased attack damage and reduced mana cost of attacks as the implicits. For the quiver we've got this fractured 35% increased damage with bow skills. I do need to re-roll this, however I did hit bow attacks fire an additional arrow, so I'm a bit hesitant to do so. Also we've got the crafted 30% increased elemental damage with attack skills. We do have a taming ring on here which is 26 out of 30 for elemental resists, with the max rolled implicit and 20% elemental damage modifiers. We have our Hiri's Truth, not a replica, just an ordinary one with allocated Fury Bolts, and that is not a great one. I've got critical modifiers on there because it's the only one that really matters. I don't need dex, so, and nothing else really matters on there. So I put the critical on there, which has increased the global critical strike multiplier. As for the other ring, this is where most of our chaos res is coming from. We've got the implicit of 23 plus a crafted 15, strength and intelligence on there with the attribute quality, and then it was just life, energy shield and mana that happened to roll along with the strength and intelligence. For our boots, they're not that great. They're 128 out of 139, 20% with 4% action speed and life regen as the implicits. Armor, move speed, crafted life, fire, lightning, and cold resists. All tier 2 resists. Obviously, they're Headhunter. This is the only Headhunter I've ever owned. I've been divining it / exalting it. Divining it for ages, but it's never been good to me. So this is where I ended up at the moment with the 20% attribute modifiers on top of that. With the Gloods, they're 100%, 139, 139. It's only 20% quality, and this is before I started using the fossils to get 30% quality before I started crafting them. So I do need to use Hillock to get this up to 30% quality. Armor evasion with crafted life, tier 3 cold, tier 5 fire, and tier 4 lightning rares, which is just enough for what I need. 9% increased global accuracy and 19 crit strike tank chance for attacks. I do need to use some blessed orbs to get those up. My preferred life flask, a legacy quicksilver flask with increased duration and increased movement speed. Increased duration, immunity to shock. Jade flask, increased duration, reduced effect of curses, granite flask, and again 2 charges, increased attack speed when used, gold flask. We've got the 10% chance to duplicate contained rogue markers in the smuggler's caches. Everything else is irrelevant. It's only used for that duplicate smuggler's cache chance. And I think I've got the armor. This armor's 30% quality. It's 974 out of 982. The rolls on it are pretty okay. The reason it's got 5 white sockets is because back in, I want to say 3.9 or 3.20, I used this armor for my character. I hit a tier 4 Vorchi. I spent about an hour in TFT trying to sell the Vorchi craft. They're up to 6 white sockets. After an hour I got bored, used it on my heroes and hit 5 out of 6 white. I did try to sell it, but I also put it at a very high price because I wanted to keep it. So naturally it didn't sell, and now I'm using it on this character. And in here this holds our artillery ballista with hypothermia, added cold, inspiration, increased crit dam, and increased crit strike. That's all the gears. As for the gems, in our helm we've got Sniper's Mark, Frost Blink, Mark on Hit, and Life Tap. In the boots we've got Minor Forged Arrows with Power Charge on Crit, Ensnaring Arrow, and Frenzy. And in the gloves we've got an Enlightened support with Haste, Grace, and an Unlinked Blood Rage. I think that covers everything there. As for our passive trees, we have Focal Point, Gathering Winds, Endless Munitions through Ricochet. We came through to get Aspect of Eagle, Quick Step via Heart of Oak and Finesse. Up through to get the Charisma Wheel, pick up this node here, and the only reason this jewel's in here is because it's got Chaos Resist on it. The life and mana was a bonus. Come through here for Revenge of a Hunted, over here for multi-shot with monsters cannot block your attacks, down here for Spell Suppress, for the crit and the crit, over for the King of the Hill and Master Fletcher with the increase in reduction to prod speed, do damage as well, the full Herbalism Wheel with 50 max life, down for lethality and natural remedies with the enemies you kill affected by your elemental ailments grant more flask charges. So I had to take a drink. It's more Spell Suppress, down for long shot plus prod speed, the full thick skin with skills cost life instead of 30% of mana cost. And then we go up. I've got a Watcher's Eye in here because we've got haste, so we've got onslaught, and we're unaffected by enfeeble while affected by grace. Up here we've got Clever Thief with 10% of leeches instant. Over here for Mark the Prey and cannot deal crit strikes. Blood Drinker with 15% increased max life because here he does not have a life modifier on the chest. Depth Perception, Frenetic, Infused. Normally you would have an Inspired Learning here, but I'm wearing a Headhunter so I don't need it. I've just popped this in here for phasing, damage, int and life. Down for our cluster setup we've got Drive the Destruction, Feed the Fury, Martial Prowess and Cold Res. We're not using Drive the Destruction at the moment. It might be something I'll get later on if I level high enough. Medium Cluster Duel, increased crit chance with attributes, Chaos Res, Basic Pain and Pressure Points. And over the other one, Basic Pain, Quick Getaway, Elemental Resist and Crit Multi. In here we've got a Crimson Duel with more stats and life. And then down here we've just got a Chaos Res, Small Cluster, 3 passive, 25% increased effect with 3 max life, 3 fire res. And this gives us 45 Chaos Res by itself, which makes up most of our Chaos Resistance. I do try to get all of my characters capped out on the resistance, but this one proved particularly difficult. I do need to re-roll some gear on here. I'm not sure how I'm going to fit it all in unless I drop the taming, but then that does lose some of my elemental resists, which I should be able to pick up, but then I lose the damage. So it's a very, unless I just drop the stats on here and try and find them elsewhere, but at the moment this will do. So that's a passive, they're the flasks, all the gear and the gems, levels, etc. Let's get on. We've got this T16 Crimson Temple map. I never roll my Blighted maps, I always do them white. So yeah, and we've got on there 12% reduced mana, monster movement speed and 50% reduced cost of building and upgrading towers. That is 2 amber and 1 clear. Let's get into the map device. I haven't actually tested this build in a blighted map, so if we fail this, I'm not going to be surprised. This character was Lightning Arrow with Vengeance Cascade on it. Obviously Vengeance Cascade got nerfed, so we're on to Tornado Shot. This looks a pretty good choke point actually. We've got this section here. We've got 3 entry points, so we kind of want to set up here, set up over here, set up over here, and maybe one here in case we get a proc over here. Let's hit it up and see what we've got. Oh, my ring anoints are empowering towers, have 25% increased effect and increased range because you have no idea what immunities are going to appear. See, this one has got not that much actually. Awesome. Right, we are going to pop our empower one there, build it all the way up, drop fire here and minion there, go straight for the meteor tower and the flying scouts, and then here we'll have, it's going to be cold and that one is fist, so we're going to put fist here, or earth depending. I don't upgrade these, I don't see the point. We're still going to put a cold one there, and then this will be our lightning arc, and then yeah, we've got another one here which we might do. Nothing's got immune to me minions, so we'll wait for some juice and we'll pop another sentinel, and this area is going to be done really. Just move forward, just kill these, get it done moving a bit quicker. Still not enough, even with that double reduction. We've procced some more. Yep, so we need to build here quickly. Fire, res. Out of mana, wasn't expecting that because I'm not hitting anything probably. There we go. I'm not using my artillery ballistas either, so let's drop those down and get to some building. Use the freeze a bit more. We've got an incoming boss. Drop some of those. Get blood rage going as well. There goes the boss. That's down. Back over to here. We're going to do a fire blaze on that. I'm aware we've got some coming up there, but that's fine. They're going to take their way. Well, there's a boss right next to the base. Upgrade that one. Upgrade it again. Got some over here. Now they died. Here they come from this angle. Sorry I've gone quiet, I am just concentrating quite hard on this. I don't want to lose this. We could do that, that's a big chunky hit. So off-handed gem levelling up. Right, that's got that. That'll kick out some damage. We're going to try and solo this here while we concentrate on building up. That was a tanky mofo. Let's go over here, build that up, drop meteor tower, drop that. What's going here? We will arc this, and that's going to be another minion. Clear this out, drop that there, another minion. Oh, I did not want to do that. Oh, I've just bricked this. Got it down. We're going to drop another minion tower here. That's holding up quite nicely. Another minion tower. No, you don't. Stop sneaking through this lot. I've picked up a Headhunter modifier there. I didn't particularly want, but never mind. It's working for us. Get that one sorted out. Get that one sorted out. Get that done. So that area's done. Oh my days, that hurt. Okay, what have we got here? We need some buffs. Let's drop an arc, a cold, a fist. Boom, 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 boom. What are we missing? Our pump is fine. We've got some bosses coming through here. Dodge that. Fire, dodge the chaos balls. Get off the chaos damage. They're coming through there. Just tidy that up a bit. Over here to finish this off. Don't get hit by the balls. Don't get hit by the balls. We'll do a fire. Flamethrower. Right. It's not usually this bad. As I said, it's the first time using this build, and it's the first time doing a blighted map with this build. I think I'm pretty okay now. I should just be able to let everything kind of come settle. Take a drink, take a breather. Oh, that was a bit mad. Vengeance Cascade really did play a part in killing everything. I don't want to get hit by those. Are they mine or theirs? I never can tell. I think that's all cleared. Have we got any stoppers? We've got stoppers somewhere. Where is the stragglers? Not this way. At this point, wherever mobs are left, there's not going to be any bosses because there's none active. Won't kill the pump, so we can just run around and try and find the stragglers. Okay, they're going to be over here then. I need to fix this. There we go. There we're done. I'm not going to record the looting because this map will take ages to loot, but I'll pick this up. No uniques, but tons of maps, which is quite nice. And there we go. That is my Ranger Deadeye struggling to do a T16 blighted map because I'm not used to the character, and I made a mistake with that Empower. You should never upgrade the Empower, the Cold or the Earth Towers to tier 4. It's just not worth it, specifically because of immunities. And when you're running this type of setup where you're empowering the towers around the empowers, you don't need to boom level 4. It's more profitable to have them as level 3s. So that's how I run my blighted maps. Not quite usually that hectic, but there we go. And to the next section. In this section of the video we are going to go over my character that I'm trying to get to level 100. This is my Inquisitor Righteous Fire, which is loosely based on Pox's Inquisitor RF character. The reason I say loosely excuse me, is because I don't know how much I've deviated from his tree since last time I respect the character and to the time of this recording. So I'm just going to go into it. If you want to check the differences, you can hit up Pox's website and stuff, and then you can compare. Otherwise, I'm just going to go into it as per previous sections. If there's legacy gear on the character, I will note it at the time of showing the item in this video. So let's go into the gear and the links. I'm level 99. I'm currently on 47% XP. The highest I've ever got is 49, and I've had deaths all the way back down to about 13%, and I've made my way back up again. And then we've had deaths, and then it's been yo-yoing between about 20 and 40% for most of last league. So hopefully I won't die in this video. Resistances wise, we've got 88% on all of everything, and so just about 75% chaos res. Oh, keep pressing the wrong button, apologies. Right, so trinket, yep, the only thing I care about is the smuggler's caches have 9% chance to duplicate contain rogue markers. That should be 10. Everything else on this trinket is completely irrelevant. I don't use this trinket, this character in Heist, sorry. So the duplicate rogue markers is the only thing we can care about. Similar life flask, the only difference is this one's on 5 charges when you're a hit, because I don't generally need it. So if I do see my life going down, I'll hit it straight away, especially on my grind to 100. A note on grinding to 100, this is completely solo. I have not used any party buffs to like 5 ways or breach stones to get the XP. Every percent of XP earned on this character I have done myself. Rest of the flasks, these are all legacy flasks, I'm pretty sure. So gain 7 charges rather than the 3, and then the unveiled craft regenerate 3 life per second during life flask. Obviously used when charges reach full on all the flasks. All of them are 20% if not higher quality. This one's reduced duration but increased effect, so we get additional elemental resistances. I have no idea why I still have this flask. It looks like I need to replace this one. Less poison, reduced charges used because we're on the quartz flask, so trying to get the 2 charges out of that. We were hoping to get at least consumes 30 out of 60, but 25 out of 60 is better. And then finally 7 charges rather than 3, and then 47% increased armor on the silver flask, which has got 40 out of 60 charges. I'm going to have to change that one. I don't need that. I wonder why I picked that one up. Oh, I think I know why. Because of the new fire res thing. I don't know. I don't like it. I'll change that one after this video, after I've showcased this character. We've got a scepter. It's not very good. It does have the +1 level to all fire skills. It's got the burning damage on there, the multi-mod for fire damage over time, and then the increased fire damage plus ignite. It does have the elemental damage per 2% quality, but at the moment it is still sat on 20%. I refuse to get it to 30% until I have got a better scepter. In this scepter I've got my Blood Rage and Tempest Shield linked with Anomalous Summon Skitterbots. Onto the helm. I crafted this myself. It is not a very good base. It's only 166 out of a possible 185. So at some point when I have some currency, I will be re-rolling this on a 100% base, 30 qualitying it and then rolling it. As it's influenced with Elder, I cannot use the Exarch currency on it. So we've got, as you can see there, 20 conk effect with 23 AoE, armor and energy shield, crafted +1 to AoE gems and increased area effect, more elemental damage obviously from the essence, and then we've got the level 18 burning damage with a 29 out of a possible 30 increased burning damage, and I very luckily hit 22% fire res as well, so that's all good. And in here we've got our Awakened Swift Affliction buffing our Righteous Fire, which is a level 24 gem. Then we've got Awakened Elemental Focus support and Life Tap. In our Aegis Aurora, which is 30% quality, I've got that's the standard Aegis Aurora. I've got 20% increase in elemental damage with attack skills, which is completely irrelevant. 352% increased armor and energy shield out of a possible 400. And in here we've got our faster attacks linked with shield charge and level 1 life tap. As for our gloves, these are 100% Titan gauntlets. I brought these for 100C. These are standard prices, that's non-league. I then alped it and used the relevant fossils to get 30% quality. And then I believe I used essences to craft it. No idea which essence I used, but it's got the life, the armor, fire res, chaos res, and the +1 to level of socketed AoE gems and increased area effect. And in here we've got Enlighten level 3, Malevolence, Purity of Ice corrupted to level 21, and then +1 from item, +1 from global, and Determination, which is also qualityed because I could. No other reason. I do need to get an alt quality version of Determination and Malevolence. I'll do that at some point. On to our boots. Legacy of Fury, of course, 30% quality. Again, not very good base. It's only a 93 out of 103. 234 armor and evasion, 43% increased effective scorch, and a max chance when you kill a scorched enemy to burn. So 40% out of 40. In here we've got our Frostblink linked with Flammability, linked with Hex Touch, linked with Life Tap. That's how I prefer to run my curse. Finally we go to the last armor piece, which is the chainmail. Saintly chainmail. This is max quality, 100 out of 100, so that's 461, 461. 30% qualityed, similar to the gloves. Brought the base from trade, then alked and fossil resonator to 30% quality, and then used the relevant essences and got fire, int, lightning. I don't need the intelligence, but armor and energy shield, and then energy shield and mana. Then with the max rolled crafted fizz damage taken as fire and lightning. There's no life modifiers on this one, so I can use the 15% increased life on the passive tree, and we'll get to that passive tree in a moment. In here obviously we have our fire trap linked with trap and mine, awaken swift affliction, life tap, awaken burning damage, and empower. I got the I crafted the sockets by doing the crafting bench, 3 sockets, 120 GCPs to get 3 green. Bam, that was done. And then up to 4 sockets till I got the red, 5 sockets till I got the red, 6 sockets until I got the red, and then forced the 6 link with 1500 fusings. Now we go on to our rings. So this is Amethyst ring, obviously, with life, mana, cold, chaos, and then crafted lightning and chaos. And on the other one, it's a chaos with max roll dex. This was crafted with dex essences until I got a decent roll. So we've got the lightning res on there with the life and the energy shield. Energy shield's completely pointless, really, because of the righteous fire, but it does help a little bit. And then obviously the fire, crafted, and chaos res on this ring as well. Got empowering totems for blight and burning ground, but I need to change that one because I no longer use that, and this character very rarely does blight. As for our amulet, yep, it is an Ashes of the Stars. I got this when they were, before the drop weight got nerfed, when they were cheap as anything you like. I think I picked this one up for I can't even remember. It was really cheap, despite it being max rolled reservation and almost max on the quality of skills. The XP gain is irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. And then we've got the attribute modifiers on there with the charisma anoint, sorry. So that's how I'm able to run everything I'm able to, because I'm running an Ashes of the Stars with a charisma anoint. So that's tons of reservation. And you can see I've still got 92 mana left in case I needed it for anything. On to our passive tree. Got Righteous Providence, Augury, and then through to Pious Path. And I think this is pretty much the same as the POB that Pox has done. We come straight up through here to Retribution, down for Discipline Training, Sanctity, round through for Glancing Blows, down for the Sanctuary there, over through here for Sanctum of Thought with the Armour and Energy Shield Mastery, through to Divine Shield, down for Hearty, Barbarism, Juggernaut with the plus on max all res. We've got a Legacy Melding of the Flesh. It's actually a double legacy. One, it doesn't have the newer -4 to max res. It's well rolled, down 71, so it's one off of max. It's also got the Harvest Craft on there of implicit modifiers, which you can no longer get because they removed it. So I've got a base 15% chance of being Void and Shock, even though I'm immune because I've got Tempest Shield. I'll come back to the cluster jewels in a moment. This is our Brutal Strength for Balbala for Maraketh. This is given us gaining Onslaught on for 8 seconds on kill. Here we've got Poisons you inflict deal damage 10% faster, which is horrible because it's irrelevant. 5% chance to blind enemies on hit from the fire trap, and then 20% increased elemental damage. Now the reason I haven't re-rolled this is because we've got elemental damage there, and we've got Onslaught down here. Absolutely amazing. And this is kind of okay too. Full Sovereignty Wheel with the 30% increased effect of aura skills. And then I think that's the wrong one actually. Shouldn't be increased effect on you, not area of effect. I believe that was a misclick. I'll rectify that. Let's eat regret orb. Boom. And then yep, that's better. Auras from your skills have 10% increased effect on you. There we go. Got the Purity of Flesh wheel up through for the Holy Fire with the regenerate 1 life per second for each one uncapped res. Over for Arcane Guarding, Acrimony, down 10% damage on Martyr if you've killed. Elemental Overload, I still don't know why we take this, but Pox says we take it, so we take it. The 3 Cruel Preparation nodes with Life Mastery, 15% increased max life. Down for Deep Thoughts, so we can pick up even more minor reservation. And then finally, Breath of Flames, Heart of Flame. Going back to the cluster jewels, I have this cluster jewel, Cremator, Prismatic Heart, Widespread Destruction. We do not take widespread destruction because it's at the back. Also on this one we've got more fire res. Over for the medium jewels we've got burning bright and flow of life with full res, 4 fire and then +2 all res. And then the medium jewel we've got our 20% increased effect, more minor reservation pure guile for our purity of ice with regen and 3% cold res. Down here we've got another medium cluster for flow of life and Reptile flame with some chaos res and lightning jet res, and I haven't made a decision what jewel I'm going to put in here yet. It might end up being a Watcher's Eye, but at the moment I can't find one I'm happy with at a price that I'm willing to pay, so it remains empty until I find a Watcher's Eye. So that is my passive tree, that is all my skills and gems. Let's get a map going. We're going to do a T16 map. We're going to go and do Silo. I love this map, shame the boss is a bit bad, but quality it up. Owl kit, boom, cannot regen, that's no good. Charge, yep, let's vial it. Stays a Silo, temp chains, early weakness, reflect fears, more magic. Yep, we can run that, no problem at all. Pop it into our 5-slot thing, nothing free. We've got delirium. I'm not going to run delirium, I really don't want to die on this one. It's another reason why we're going to take Nico, just to block any others. We're also going to turn off Maven and not have any I just don't want to die. That's all it comes down to. So we'll go into the Silo. There's a thing. Let's get our RF up. We've got our Blood Rage running and off we go. Last time I checked this character's cost based... Ow, ow, ow. I hate that. I've got the sound off. I'll even show it to you after I run this. No idea whether the sound is still coming through. This is why I don't usually run Delirium. The same in the Menagerie as well. You turn all the sound off and you still get them. Ow. They need to do something about that. If I turn the sound off, there's a reason I turn the sound off. Yikes, I'm taking damage. This is a King Harvey as well. Come on, let me move, let me move. Another reason why I don't like doing Delirium. Never move. There we go. This character is not built to do Legion. The Atlas I'm running is built to form a different character, which you would have seen in the previous section even. So hopefully we don't die here. Just keep moving and hopefully they all die before I do. I think we've got everything. Yeah, so it's just coming down here to get these ones. There we go. Right, let's go and pick up the loot. There we go. At least the delirium's gone now. Wow. I honestly, I have the sounds turned off. Options, sound, master volume is high, no sound effects, music, ambient, dialogue, item filter volume off, chat alerts, that's for whispers. But as you've noticed, I am DND, so there should be no sound coming from the game whatsoever, and yet still we have the noise from the delirium. And another Harbinger. Let's go, not a king one this time. Now this time we should just be able to stand still and just tank wherever it is. Let's throw some fire traps down. Get it done quicker. There we go. I am not on the correct loot filter for this, and I've used all my chromes re-gearing the characters in standard for the 3.22 update, so I do need to be picking up a lot of chrome stuff. I redid my 322 League filter, which is what I'm currently running at the moment. I haven't updated my standard filter, which is a few hours work. I have to change tiers of loads of things and then update based on what divination cards I need. Woo. There we go. Oh, we've run out of yeah, we are out of space. ID. Let's do a quick handoff. Enchanted armaments, they don't sell, they're horrible. That's engineering, die. It's not perfect. That's a 100% base. I haven't got 100%. Let's just throw it in here for now. It's actually not a bad one. It's not particularly great. T3. Someone might want that. I'll go in the rotating tabs. And that's all junk. What's this? I'll have to craft that later. Vendor all that. Yeah, I've got very little fusings, all chromes left. Even in my storage has taken a massive hit. I had lots of things to recolor, and the some of the things I thought would be quite easy weren't, and some of the things that were quite hard were harder still. RNG was not with me, to say the least. Right, let's finish this map then. We're not doing too bad after the scary King Harby and the Legion. The gems you can see coming leveling up here are for my glittering challenge. More on that in later on in the video. Scours, always love scours. Let's keep those. Shield charge down there. Shield charge through this lot. Right, now we get the arena just in case. Don't need that. This should be an easy boss fight. I did it earlier on my Poison SRS character, which is like 200C worth of investment, if that. Let's kill all these ads. Shield charging all over the place. I'll worry about loot later. I'll get the boss done first. Oh, don't stand there. Have some fire traps. Well done. And pick up those. Go on a shield charge rampage again. I don't mind the boss. I'm not in any particular hurry. I know it's you got to wait for him to do his phases, but honestly, better than some. And there we go. The silo done. I've got another passive point, and we're just going to pick all this up. I don't want that. I do want some wisdom scrolls. Alright, pop out. And that, where's the... Oh, let's have that. Go through it. There we go. And that is the Righteous Fire Inquisitor. You saw the Jugg earlier. Is that perfect? No, not all this lot gets vended then. You saw the Jugg earlier, and now you have seen the Inquisitor. That's it for all of the character showcases. I'll move on to the update and closing comments, etc. So in this section of video, I'm just going to go through the challenges that I've set myself whilst playing Standard. Obviously Standard does not currently have an end, and it just goes on and on and on. Everything from the leagues ends up in Standard from one way or the other. So you got hardcore Standard, softcore Standard, and then ruthless Standard. Depending on which league you're playing in, depending on which ones they end up, and then you've got the SSF variants of those as well. The reason I'm in softcore trade Standard is because when I started I didn't know the difference. If I'd have known what I know now, I would have definitely done SSF and gone through that, but I can't transfer from trade to SSF. So here we are in softcore trade Standard. So let's go through the challenges I've set myself. The first and easy one to get through, the one that most people know about, is the one-to-one challenge, which is getting one unique of every unique in the game in your unique tab. Now this is normally done in SSF, however at the time of recording I am unable to kill most of the bosses in Path of Exile due to my medical conditions and the way GGG have designed their bosses. So that means there are some uniques that I have to buy. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. It's not my fault I have these medical conditions. Most of them are related to my autism, and despite me sending multiple emails to Chris Wilson and GGG via forums and emails, etc., they still keep designing bosses that I can't do. So yeah, that's the background of it. So let's go through. Now currently in my unique tab, this is being Standard. There are legacy uniques, as you can see. I have got two Death's Bow. One is the one currently in the game, and the other one is from the old Prophecy League, which is no longer drops. It's no longer relevant. It is legacy. You cannot get it anymore unless you buy it from someone in trade. So I have all of these bows, and this is why you get this number down here, 1208 of 1082, because a lot of the uniques in this tab are legacy. You can't get them anymore, but I own them, so they do count. There's a few uniques that you can get that aren't included in the count but are uniques, and I don't understand. I think it's is it in the mace one? Yes. So if we go to maces, you see here you've got Song of the Sirens and Reefbane, the two fishing rods in the game. Now one of these has a divination card you can get, so you just collect the divination cards, make the rod, use an ancient orb, you're guaranteed to get the other one, collect the cards, you get make up the thing, bam, you got both fishing rods. It doesn't take a lot, they're quite easy to drop, so most leagues they are quite cheap to get hold of, the divination cards that is. So I don't know why they're not part, but if I take out the Song of the Sirens and go all, there isn't a spot to put it in, but if I put it back in, the count goes up and it appears. I don't know why fishing rods aren't included, and there are somewhere between 20 to 50 uniques like that as well. So let's go through here. I'm not going to go through all of the ones I have. I'm going to go just click unowned, and we'll see the ones which I don't have. So I don't have Oriath's End. This is a boss drop. I can't do the boss, so I need to buy it. It's currently very expensive, so it's something I will get. It's the only one I'm missing, which is why 90% out of 100. I have 100% of all the amulets despite missing 3, because of the legacy ones. So I'm missing Eternal Damnation, Strangle Grasp. Replica Dragon Fangs is new to 3.22, and I have that already in League. So that one I've already got. Rings, I'm missing Calandra's Touch, Nimis, and Original Sin. Global drop, boss drop, and technically new to 3.22 because they've introduced Sanctum into the core game. Claws, I have all the claws, I have all the daggers, I have all the wands, I have all of the swords, all of the axes, all of the maces, the bows, Missing Winds of Fate, again I think that's a Sanctum drop. Got all the quivers. I have a Headhunter. It's currently equipped on my Ranger. I've only ever had one Headhunter. I don't play enough to earn enough. I don't play efficiently enough to earn enough currency to have multiple Headhunters. Replica Headhunter still hasn't dropped for me in Heist, and Mage Blood are I have spent so many ancient orbs. I have done Gwen thousands of times, both pre and post nerf. I've never been lucky enough to get one, so I still need a Mage Blood. Gloves, Hateforge, that's Trial Master. Again, I can't do it because it's Trial Master, and it's a very expensive item to purchase. Boots, got Body Armor, Stasis Prison, one of the rarest drops, because you need to do Uber 5-way Legions for a chance for it to drop. And then Replicas Fowls Fair, I still haven't had one drop from Heist despite all the BPs I do. Sandstorm Visage is a new one this league. Shield, I'm still looking for the Squire. Again, haven't had one drop globally, can't afford to buy one. And Ancient Orbs have failed me, so has Gwyn. Maps, I have all of them. Contracts, I have all of them. And jewels, mostly the lab ones now. It's mostly the lab ones, which tend to be very expensive. Balance of Terror, I've not seen that. That might be a new one this league. And Rational Doctrine, which I believe is a boss drop. So that's where we are with all the uniques. There's a SSF softcore streamer, Lighty, that is, to me, most known for doing the All for One challenge, and he is very close to completing it. So I'll link his Twitch stream down below. On to the next section. So the next challenge I've set myself, I didn't realise had a name, but it does. It's called the Glittering Challenge, and the challenge for this is to get one gem of every gem in the game to be max level, max quality, without being corrupted. So that's the challenge. So I've got currently three gem tabs here. Got my superior or default gem tab. Oh, the reason these are all red is because I'm on my legacy character, level 59, and you would have seen this character highlighted in the previous sections that are all going to be red. Don't worry about that too much. So currently I've got 233 default gems. They're all 2020. All of these ones are 2020 max level. And if we go down here, we've got the level 6 Blood and Sand and Brand Recall. So they max out level at 20%. And then we've got Portal and Ye Old Detonate Mine gem, which I don't think is actually used anymore, but it's still in the game. So alt quality gems, all of the alt quality ones I found in BPs, or I may have brought for a build. Then I no longer needed it because the build has been made obsolete by patch notes, or I didn't find a purpose for the build, so I've sold everything but kept the alt quality gems. Again, we got alt quality Blood and Sand and the anomalous Detonate Mines. And in the exceptional gems, now in the exceptional gems we have gems that aren't really counted in the challenge, legacy gems, gems that can only be got by recipes, the actual exceptional gems, which is Enhance, Enlighten and Empower, and then any awakened gems that I have. Most of these awakened gems I've either brought for a build, aforementioned alt quality, or I have just found, maybe I found 2 woke gems. The rest have been brought for builds, and then I don't need to build anymore, so they get shifted into here. So the 2 recipe gems I have are Block Chance Reduction and Elemental Penetration. If you want to know how to get these 2, you can look it up on poe.wiki.net. Then we've got the Legacy Gem item quantity. Last I looked, there's only about 50 to 70, I think, somewhere around there, of these gems left for sale in standard. You can only get them in standard, and to get one that isn't corrupted is extremely rare. Of the 50, so let's say about 60. Of the 60 that I've seen available, both on and offline in total, over half of them are corrupted. So if you're thinking about doing this challenge and you're going for top-notch gold standard, then you need to get into standard, softcore or hardcore, either or, and buy one quickly. This one cost me 60 divines. Then we have the Val Breach, which you can't get via Varling portal gems anymore. You can only get it from divination cards or as a very rare drop from bosses. Yes, you can only get this being corrupted. This is the sole exception to having no corrupted gems, and I wanted one that was max level 1 at 20% quality. So that's it. This one cost me about 8 divines, I think, because I very specifically only wanted 20% quality. So yeah, and I've got all the awakened gems I've collected since they've been released. And then we've got Anomalous, Empower, Enhance, and Enlighten. And then we've got the ones I'm leveling up. So I've only got a few that are high level to be finished leveling up, and then I've got a big stack of level 1 gems. Most of these are default / superior. And then any gems I've just got that I've kept from builds that I've scrapped or leveled up. And then the build has changed due to patch notes, but I've kept the 2020 gems, and I'm keeping all of these for the sole purpose of the new gem system that is going to come, I'm assuming, is going to come to PoE 1 when PoE 2 launches, and I don't know if any of these at that stage will be 6-linked. So I'd rather wait and keep every single gem I have to save on resources getting 6-linked. Leveling up gems doesn't take very long when you're running juiced T16 maps. So, and to get these gems leveled, I have a 6 white socket bow. It is not, I know I could craft it so they get more XP, but whatever. And a Mahoney's mechanism 3 slot as well. So that's how I level the gems. So that's the glittering challenge. Let's move on to the next section. The next challenge, again, I didn't realise this was a thing. I was sorting out my tabs one day and I came across a lot of these, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to start keeping them because autism, hoarder, OCD. So it's actually called the Gold Border Collection, and this is the library where they're stored, which is a second divination card tab. And essentially the Gold Border Challenge is to get one set of divination cards at full stack for every card in the game. So that's where we're at right now. I've got quite a few of them. Luckily, this league only 2 new divination cards were added, so I've already got 2 new stacks which I collected. So I'm actually getting ahead of the curve on this one. There's not that many left for me to go. I've got a spreadsheet which I'll bring up in a moment, which outlines everything owed, etc. But yeah, that's that challenge. So in here I've got all of these cards. Let's just reduce the size. No, that brings the size up. Whoops, I thought they went smaller, but they don't. So all of these I've obviously got, and then any new cards I pick up I just throw in here, and then when it gets a full stack I have a look to see if I need it. So all of these I've got. These are just cards I pick up for various reasons. So yeah, that's where we're at with the Gold Border Challenge, and in the next section I'll bring over the spreadsheet and go through all of that. So in this final section of the video I just want to go through and find my spreadsheet I have. Now this is done in Excel because I don't know Google very well to be able to put it all in there with checkboxes and stuff. If you're looking to do the all for one, the unique challenge in whichever league you do it in, then I know you can just do an internet search, PoE all for one spreadsheet, and you will find it. I don't know if there's one for the glittering challenge or one for the Gold Border Challenge. and I don't know how to design one. So if anyone out there is listening has that tech, please share that so people can use it. But right now I will just open it up. I'll remove some personal information. Here we go. Get it to the beginning. So here comes the spreadsheet. I use very subdued colours, so hopefully it's not going to hurt anyone's eyes, for various reasons. So there we go. So this is the list of every single gem that is currently in the game. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, I have put the new ones in here, right down the bottom. There's a lot of them. There we go. So these ones, which are in a greeny yellow colour, are all the new gems that have been released for 3.22. I haven't done the research yet to see which ones are alt quality, so at the moment it's just the superior ones. I'm already leveling a few in league ready to come over to standard. So we've got the wake ones here as well. They're the ones I'm missing. There's some more up here. So as you can see, we've got currently, excluding any gems introduced in 3.22 alt qualities, there are 1,424 gems in the game. This includes all variants of gems, and also has the elemental penetration, which is the one you can only get by recipe, anomalous version as well. So that's 1,424 gems total that are part of the glittering challenge, and as you can see, so far I have collected 442. I have done this spreadsheet so it calculates all the stuff. So we've got 982 gems to go, just over 200 default ones, a load of anomalous, even more divergent, and there's only 100 currently, excluding 3.22 gems. There's only 100 phantasmal gems in the game, and I have 16 of them leveled. As you can see here, there's some notes here. So I do have this gem. It's level 1, 20% quality, and where I've got staff, that means the gem is currently in that bow or in the Maloney's quiver, and is currently waiting to hit level 20. So that's all the gems. If I turn off the ones I've completed quickly, there we go. So all the ones here you can see I've already done. We go down the list, and we've got some alt quality ones are in there as well, all blacked out. I started out blacking them out, and then I just removed ones that are max level from the list. So block chance reduction, as you can see, it only comes from a recipe, that's in there. But yeah, that's how that's done. That's how well I'm doing. I will not save this after I finish, because it's just easier. In the gold border challenge, I haven't added the cards from 3.22 yet. I do need to do that, but right now I am missing 93 sets. This part of the spreadsheet was updated prior to 3.22 launching. So in total I need 681 cards. That is the number of cards missing for full stacks. However, of that I've got 183, so I only need 498 individual cards. And I have got all of the ones that are legacy, because they've either been rebranded or I've managed to buy them in standard. Some are sat to 0, so I've never got Poison Faith. The ones in white, last I heard from the Discord server Divcord, DIVCORD, which is the research, effectively the research place for finding new drops, divination cards, etc. It hadn't been confirmed where it was dropping, and it was introducing Crucible. So you got some here like Judging Voices. I think that's now been solved, but I haven't updated it. That is still looking to be found, but I need to update this as well. Same as the Greatest Intentions, that hasn't been found a drop. A lot of them just are in maps. I don't put which maps they're in, because that changes every league, and I'm not changing this every league because it's just easier to say maps. A lot of the cards I own have come from stacked decks anyway, and a lot of these cards will probably end up coming from the same place. If I'm running Heist, I end up with about 200 stacked decks a week, because I'm not running it all the time. I do it in standard, and that'll generate a lot of cards. So yeah, that's where we are with the Gold Border Challenge. And then finally we go for the All for One Challenge, and as you can see, I'm actually only missing 19 uniques outside of the ones introduced for 3.22. The ones in yellow, which are highlighted, I'll highlight them now for anyone who can't see yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I'm going to have to buy because they come from bosses, and there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. Other than that, it's 3 from 3 Grand Spectrums, Headhunter, another Emperor's Wit, so Internal Lab. I should be running Lab, Eternal Lab. I just hate doing it, absolutely hate doing it. I tried, I had a character that could run it, I absolutely hated it. So that's where I'm at the moment. I do need to update this for I do need to update this for 3.22. I just don't know if the uniques that are in the league mechanic for 3.22 are going to go core. I am trying to do the league mechanic. I've got 3 of them so far, and I haven't done that, and then I've just sold all my silver coins because I needed the chaos. So I need to grind out some silver coins and then go back into it, or I might just see how much they are, do it that way. And then these here are legacies. They are previous items dropped from rewards, for winning races that PoE used to do many years ago. They're all drop disabled, they're all legacy items, and you can only get them in standard, and most of them have a significant cost. So this one here, for example, is 500 mirrors, 400 mirrors, 100 divines, 600 divines. I haven't updated this price list in a while, but as time goes on, these will get rarer and rarer as either collectors buy them or people just stop playing and don't realise they've got them in their stash bags. These are the new uniques introduced just solely for the league mechanic, and as you can see, I've got Bound Fate, the Certainty Boots, and the Replica Dragon's Flight. Again, I haven't added them into the actual thing because until 3.22 ends, we don't know if they're going core or GGG makes an announcement. So that's it. That is my stash record, is what I call it. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And then finally, one I'm just doing because I can and no other reason, doesn't really have a name. I am collecting 5,000 of every currency, excluding Exalted Orbs, Mirrors. And yeah, so that's going pretty well. I keep using my alts and my chromatic orbs and fusings every league. I need to grind out thousands of these because I end up using a lot of them when GGG issue the patch notes and the builds change, and I need to redo some of my gear on my showcase characters that you have seen previously in the video. Let's get on to the outro. My final thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. It is literally me going through all of my standard characters as they are. I don't usually do this because a lot of the gear on these characters are legacy and cannot be replicated within League, and like this character on the screen, it is a legacy character that doesn't do anything. It's just there because I don't want to delete it. I've got so many good memories, and this character is responsible for at least 75% of my non-divine or upper currency levels that you currently see. I used to be able to grind out 150 to 250 chaos every hour, every day on this character. I used to wake up in the morning and I'd spend an hour or so just running endless heist and generating so much currency, and unfortunately it is now all over. So I don't usually do these. Not only that, I don't think a lot of people have interest because it is standard and not league content. However, I felt like I wanted to do this, so I've done it, and there we go. All the POBs for each of the characters highlighted are down below in the description, as well as Lighty's Twitch channel, Bailey Mage's Twitch channel, who without him I really wouldn't have got as far as I've got today, and Look a Hole as well. Without Look a Hole, I wouldn't have been able to do half the shenanigans I get up to now, because I wouldn't have the crafting knowledge that I do, that I've learnt from his YouTube videos. Please, please, please go and hit them up, like on their YouTube, follow them, YouTube and Twitch. All three are amazing content creators, and yeah, shout out to all three of them. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little snapshot of what I get up to in standard when either the league is really bad, or mainly because of my autism, I get bored with the league trying to get into maps. It's not the case with 3.22, so here's looking forward. Thanks everyone for all the support. Likes, comment, subscribe below, or don't, your choice. See you later.